If there's something beyond evil or beneath evil, this is it. And they're all accountable for their actions in it.
The circumstances around Tammy Daybell's death were the center of testimony today in Lori-Vallow-Daybell's murder trial. Along with being charged with her own kids' murders, Vallow was accused of conspiracy to commit murder in Tammy's death. Tammy was married to Lori's current husband, Chad, before she was killed in October of 2019. Investigative reporter Morgan Romero was in court all day, where prosecutors called a lot of witnesses in a short amount of time.
10 people took the stand, some testifying for just a few minutes. This was the first time the prosecution really dug into Tammy Daybell's death in this trial. The most powerful witness on Friday was Tammy's sister, Samantha Gwilliam. She told jurors just 2 weeks after her sister died, Chad married Lori. Gwilliam said she was devastated to learn that. Chad told her and her husband he and Lori connected because they were both grieving a dead spouse. Chad told everyone 49-year-old Tammy was sick and woke up coughing and vomiting before she died in her sleep on October 19, 2019. Attorneys questioned 9 others, including Fremont County law enforcement and coroners, and people Tammy worked out with who testified to how healthy she was before she died. We heard the 911 call Chad and his son made the morning Tammy was found dead. In it, Chad is crying and distraught. We saw graphic photos of how law enforcement and coroners found Tammy's body with a pink foam on her cheek. They thought that was odd, along with how young she was, but they didn't think an autopsy was needed. They ruled her death natural. It wasn't until a few months after Tammy died, when the investigation into Lori's missing kids picked up, that law enforcement exhumed Tammy's body and a Utah medical examiner did an autopsy. That autopsy found Tammy was killed and died by asphyxiation. Prosecutors charged Chad with Tammy's murder, but we don't know who exactly they think killed her. Many of the victims' family members have been in court, some to testify, others to see the trial play out in person. J.J. Vallow's grandparents and their strength have been a constant.
I look forward to a verdict in 8-10 days, and hopefully everything goes right and we get to meet out on the front step here and I get to celebrate for a moment.
For Lori's uncle, Rex Connor, Monday was the first time he'd seen his niece in 5 years. He remembers her as a loving and patient mom, especially when it came to JJ and his special needs. But as more details came out about her missing kids, he knew Lori had to be involved.
And do you believe this theory, sort of, that Alex was their fall guy? He was the one that carried out the murders, potentially?
Sitting in trial, I believe Chad and Lori were a lot more involved than I did before going to the trial and hearing all the details, all the evidence. So yes, I believe all 3 of them are serial killers. And as far as who did the dirty work, hearing the detail on Wednesday in court, first of all, it doesn't matter to me who did, the actual dirty work. If you're involved in this to any degree, and I'm talking about other people that may not be these 3, if you're involved in any degree, you are guilty of their deaths.
Rex doesn't think Lori and Chad believed the extreme religious teachings they touted about people being possessed by evil spirits. He thinks they used that to manipulate those around them and were motivated by money, lust, and power. Rex also recognizes the mental illness component here. Ultimately, Rex wants as many answers as possible and for people to be at peace with the sentencing and the outcome. Back to you.
For a comprehensive breakdown of testimony in court today, just head on over to ktvb.com. And don't forget, a new episode of Inside the Courtroom will be available tonight on KTVB Plus or the KTVB YouTube page.